It's in the bloopers, man. Welcome to another episode of Around the Block Talk, marketing advice that works. I'm your host, Los, and today I get to interview Nick Natt from Rocky Mountain Flex Fitness and Natt Fitness. Let's go ahead and say what's up to him real quick. Hey, what's up, Nick? How's it going, man?
What's going on? Happy to be here.
Thanks for being on the show, man. I think we're gonna have a great show today, man.
I'm real excited about it. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. We're gonna have some fun today.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of Around the Block Talk. Today we're gonna be talking about how your networking and online presence should work together, and that it's very important that you have both present. You have a gym that's really been popping off. It's a really great concept. You have a lot of great members that come through, and you also have Natt Fitness, which is your authority figure online presence as a bodybuilding fitness expert. You built your business not only by telling people about it, but you did it in two specific ways, right? You were telling me a little bit about how networking was a big factor of building your business, and then how you strategized and leveraged your online presence for that. Now, break that down. Like, why is that important to have a networking component and the online component? Like, what is the value of networking?
So I think that you actually hit the nail right on the head, Los, when you said that. You have to be strategic because traditional marketing is really dead, right? I mean, we're entering a new age, things are starting to come out, and you have to think as a marketing expert when you're running your business, whether you are or you're not. The moment your sign opens, you are now a marketing expert. And marketing has to do with people's attention, right? Now, what I understood from social media before I'd ever opened a business was that it's imperative that you go where the people are. And being in fitness, so many people are on platforms, but simultaneously there's no substitution for the face-to-face interaction. So you had to kind of figure out the balance. So in my past, from being a part of social organizations, I was part of fraternities, I was in teams, different things like that, where you're having to build trust and connect with people, you understand that there's an element that really has to be emphasized with the face-to-face connection. Now, what we understand about business is that people always say that expression, it's not personal, it's business. Well, really what they're actually saying is that it's not that I'm not interested in talking to you or doing something for you, but what am I going to get in return as a business owner myself or my company? Because you have to be able to give value to those people. That's why it's not necessarily about money, it's always about value, because sometimes the value might be richer than the money might be richer than the value. So social media, I would say within the past, like 3 years, is just skyrocketing, and you have platforms coming out every single day, nuances, people are blowing up and becoming influencers. And so I really like the concept of taking social media into what is almost considered traditional advertising now, which is like your websites, things like that, and being able to really give presentations which will do the job perfectly every single time. And people can go on there at their convenience, and while you're not sleeping, it's working for you.
24/7.
So it really became this idea of, well, what if I'm able to develop relationships with people and go out there and do some of the traditional brick and mortar stuff, but then I'm actually able to attack it with something that can back it up, that can really turn on the jets and speed up that process of getting people to know who you are, developing that trust or making that connection, and then ultimately driving business.
That's what today's episode is all about, is really, you need networking. Every business needs networking.
Absolutely.
You need to know how to network effectively so that you get the results. The foundation, right?
Absolutely.
And then the online presence. So let's talk a little bit about the networking and the components of networking.
Absolutely.
Now, we have a few different points to proper networking, right?
Absolutely.
And so take us first through the point of what you want. Like, you should know what you want. Why is that important?
Absolutely. So I think when it comes to networking, you have to think from multiple perspectives. You have to think about dynamics, right? Because it's so easy, it's almost part of the human condition, we as people, to think, well, this is my point of view, so this is how I'm going to perceive things. But when you become in business, it doesn't become about you, it becomes about your market, right? Like the people, the consumers are going to be buying your services or your products or both. And so I think that you have to think from now 2 different lenses. You have to think, okay, well, what is it that I can offer, that I can give away to people that's going to be of value to them, whether it's something they want, something they need, but then you have to also think, what is it that other people might want, other people might need, and I think that people constantly skip over that because you know, a competitor, or they might be seeing someone else making money or having an impact in an industry, and you have to think with your particular resource in mind, what is it that I want to do? What is it that the market wants? And you have to be strategic in positioning yourself to say that I'm going to add value by giving people A, which is going to be paired with A, like the apple to the apple, the orange to the orange, right?
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
And I like that because, you know, the first point was know what you want, right? And that is what is the outcome, right? And in some cases it might be that you just want to spread the word, and you may not, you're not looking into getting sales, just spreading the word so you have brand awareness. But in other times, you may want to be going to a networking event to actually convert someone to be a client, right? And that is very important, that you know what you want to do when you go networking. You just don't want to go and randomly, you know, just talk to people and not have an idea of what you're trying to get out of it. And that is whether it's at a set event, you know, where you pay your $25 to go network, or you're at the store and you're checking out, and some guys, maybe in your case, you see them reading Fitness Magazine. And now there's a starting point to talk, and then you network.
Yo, people always, I think, put themselves in a situation where they take one hat off and they go, okay, I'm going to the networking event and I'm going to be, you know, with my best tie, my best suit, or my best dress, whatever it might be, and they're going to go network, and they're ready, right? They're in a position where they're ready to do that. Well, the reality is, if you're a business owner, if you want to be an entrepreneur, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're always in business mode. There is no 9 to 5. It's a 24/7, 365, right? And so you have to think, you might have the spontaneity of going in a cab ride, or being in an Uber, or being in a Lyft, or being at the grocery store, or reading a book, and finding somebody, connecting. I think that, you know, I was talking to Shiraya earlier, and she was saying that you guys met at a restaurant. So you never know when you're going to be able to meet somebody, and I think that you have to always be searching. You have to always be in that position where you're always ready.
Yes, always be ready.
Always be ready.
And your second point to that, in terms of knowing what you want, is doing the research. And I love what you were saying about that, because you really need to know what you're going to offer, what value you need to offer, or you're going to offer. And that's a no-brainer, in the sense of it's directly in line with what you're doing in your business. If you're into fitness, you're going to add value of fitness, but it's also knowing what that value is. Is it you're going to be giving free information? Are you going to be giving free sessions? You know what you want after you've researched what people need, right? Especially depending on the industry, because for me as a marketing firm, I know that I'm going to be looking for people that are looking to improve their marketing, right? And improve their business. For you, it's different because you're in the fitness world. But we still both need to know what we're offering as our value, right?
Why you're doing that, you need to know what it is, and then you need to be able to know the outcome, like you said. So it's kind of that, like that mix, that blend, that homogenous mix, absolutely.
So now we're moving on to the point of a component of networking, of proper networking, is targeting individuals, right? Why is that important, to target individuals and be ready for random connections?
So I think that there's an element, and I guess we can back up here. I think that this goes to an element of fear, right? When people get into the market, whether you've been in business for 5 years, for 10 years, you're always thinking about expansion, about constantly growing, because if you're not thinking about progression, why are you in business, right?
Why in business,
And so when you do that, you have to think, okay, well, what is it, and how can I better position my company, myself, or my individuals, whatever it might be, that's going to help, you know, take your brand to the next level, or your company to the next level, or having a better quarter. And ultimately, building relationships can do that, right? Because it nourishes your business by generating leads. You might be able to access a network of an influencer. And, you know, if you're an entrepreneur, this is, you know, this is textbook, this is key, this is the hot thing right now. Being able to put your face on top of somebody else's brand that is kind of that guilt by association, it can skyrocket that. What tends to happen is that people know that information, but they don't know how to act on that. And the reason that they don't know how to act on that is because there's a fear. Well, if I go up there and I say something to this person, or I write an email, I'm going to get rejected, or I don't know what I'm going to do. And so I think that the way to attack that is to at first, diffuse the fear by doing research. You're going to find out about this person. If you were to flip the table and think that now you're in a position of power, or you have a company, or you have so much value that has been proven, right? The market has confirmed, and someone comes up and all of a sudden they want a piece of your pie, there's nothing wrong with that except for the fact that why would you just give that away?
Yes.
And so you have to think again from that flip perspective.
What are you exchanging?
What are you exchanging? What are these people interested in? And that's the best way to connect with an influencer. Give them what they want. With another business, if they're trying to, like you said, Los, help people get leads, how can you help provide them with some kind of value that's going to enrich their business? So you have to take it a step further, and you really have to be willing to get outside the comfort zone when you're doing that. If people, and you know somebody, even better, because that's kind of the affiliation, that's your first degree or second degree of separation right there. But a lot of times you might not know a person, so I think that going and doing a little bit of research, doing some investigating and getting to know the company, how long they've been around, things that they're after, how can you add the value, and then knowing who's the right person to possibly start connecting with before you walk in as a cold market, call or sell or an individual, you're going to be able to have a lot more of an impact, and you're more likely to get their attention.
Yeah, and I agree 100% because the research is critical, and the research could be, let's say you are invited to a networking event, right? They usually share who's going to attend, right?
Absolutely.
So you find out who's going to be there. You're going to find out, and you're going to try to see who they are, and then see who those individuals are in terms of what they do. Maybe you're looking at their Facebook, maybe you're looking at their LinkedIn page, maybe you're looking at their company page, but you're trying to find information about them, right? But going to the next point of that though, you target them, you already know who you're going to talk to. What is it in terms of why is being genuine and having a transparency when you talk to them important now that you've targeted them and you go and talk to them? Why is that important?
I think it's very important because I think I heard some statistic that it used to be that people would have to view a brand in between 6 to 8 times before they are going to move to action. It's become now like 14 different exposures through different things where they see on the street. And I think that that's happened because people are so good at seeing through the crap.
Absolutely.
They're so good at seeing through the crap.
Too much crap out there.
There's too much, man. You know, you walk out with like plugs on your nose, maybe that's smell, but it's too easy because people can come out and they will try to persuade you. Now keep in mind, we had the conversation kind of moving back up and then moving back down from the last point that you made. When you do research, I think you're a little bit more comfortable approaching a person because now you know something, you have a conversation starter.
Yes.
And I think when you have a conversation starter, you lower a person's walls, and that allows for them to maybe put a smile on. When you get that smile, or when you get the confirmation, the head nod, the handshake, whatever that might be, I think it's so great to be genuine. Be transparent.
And it'll go a very long way. Because as soon as they know you're a solid person, just like when your friends tell you, oh, that cat's a solid cat, you've already feel confident and you're ready to go.
Right.
The same thing is once you meet the individual,
the credibility is there.
Be open.
Absolutely.
And I think that leads us to the last point about good networking, is that you need to understand the business, right? And you need to kind of develop a tough skin. Why is that necessary to have a little bit of a tough skin when you talk to so many people in networking situations?
Absolutely. I think it's a funny part because we talked about the element of fear a little bit earlier, right? Like whether you're having to go up and connect with people or what to say, and it's all about rejection. And I think that the fisherman who casts no pole catches no fish.
Yes.
And so that's that proverb itself is applicable to just about everything in life. If you're not willing to put yourself out there and be receptive to what people have to say because you're scared, you're going to miss out. But simultaneously, if you're not able to have thick skin, right, like have that rhino skin and be able to network, then you have to understand, you can plant the seed, but if you don't water it, it's not gonna nourish, it's not gonna develop, it's not gonna grow. And so you must focus on what is my mission. what is my vision for my brand or my company or my goal or my dream or whatever that might be, and think longer term, because every person you come into contact with is not going to be your friend. They're not going to be interested in hearing what you have to say. And if you develop that thick skin, I think that you're going to be in a position where you're not spending as much time healing the wound as much as letting it bounce off you and then going to the next one, because that person that you're spending time reaping over, they're not spending time reaping over you or your business, and you're probably missing the important connection that night or that day or whatever that might be, because you're so self-absorbed, you're so in tune to what's happening there.
Now let's talk about a little bit about, we're talking about being genuine, we're talking about doing this research, we're talking about these networking actions, right, that you're going to be doing. In today's world, to continue that conversation, the obvious place where people go to after you give them that card, after you tell them what you're about, is where? The internet, right?
The internet,
that's where they're going to go.
They're going to find out.
Validate who you are, right?
Find out what kind of a person you are, what your business is about, absolutely.
And it's a 1-2 punch, right? And having it be a 1-2 punch, you really need to have a clean, a powerful, succinct, and informative online presence.
Absolutely.
Because that's the only way to continue that conversation.
Absolutely.
So why is that? Why is it necessary that you have an online interest in terms of the first point for
Absolutely. Well, I think it's kind of the second first impression. Like that's what I call it the second first impression.
I love that.
You make the first impression, you go to a networking event, you connect with somebody, you shake hands, and you become buddies. And what's great is that you left a mark in their mind, and it's imperative that you or they connect somehow. If you have a polished system, I'll say system because the reality is, and this is a different topic I'll let Lois talk about later, but you should be on multiple networks, not just one.
Yes.
Then it kind of shows people that you care about the industry. That it's kind of that next impression, like, wow, this is somebody who I would do business with, or I would be interested in talking with further, or extending the relationship, right? That's really what it's about. It's about going from one level of frequency, whatever you want to call it, to the next level, because you want to get into a more deeper, intimate connection.
To add to what you're saying, it is important that you show interest. People don't want to do business with people who don't care. If you don't really show an interest in people, what are they going to do? They know that you're going to be blowing them off, you may not give them the service, and they're definitely not going to give you the money.
Absolutely.
That goes into a very huge point in terms of it's necessary to show that you have an interest in your customers, right?
Absolutely.
But when the customer visits and sees content online, what does that do in terms of, does it legitimize you or validate you as a real business at all?
Absolutely. It absolutely does, because if I'm a customer going onto someone's site and I might have an interest in doing business with them, or there could be some kind of a value, or it could be just a genuine connection, I want to be I want to be networking with people who are up to date. Yes. I want to be networking with people who are serious, people who are interested, people who are going to be able to add value, people that I might be able to learn something from, right? Yep. And so you want to feel that you're getting value from whatever or whomever you're doing business with. And so if you don't have a legitimate amount of information, then you could indirectly or arbitrarily setting yourself up for failure, because it is telling people, I don't have a good system, I don't have a good product, I don't have something here. And you're like, no, that's not the interest. I actually just don't do social media. And I think that that's the importance of like the coming of the new age, which is we're like modern age right now. You have to be present, you have to be aware of where the attention is. And the attention is online. It's not just on one platform, it's on multiple platforms.
Yes. And those platforms are different for sure. You know, one of the key things, some of the key things that you guys have implemented has been, for your online presence, has been definitely a website, right? Hands down, you need a website, you need that home base, you need that online store.
Having a website was great because it gives people access to be able to see different things, and I have no idea as a person creating the content and then the person viewing it what their interest is. Yeah. Because something that brings someone to your website might not be the same for B, C, D, E, all the way down.
That's true.
And so you have to think, okay, well, I'm going to give an organized set of information. You can go on there and have at it. It's like a buffet. But then you have to think your funnels. People might be getting information from your YouTube and your videos, like this one. People might be getting information from your Facebook, and that's going to attract them to your website, or people might be getting it on LinkedIn because of the connection that you made over a networking event, and it's more on a professional level, not so much on the social level, or not so much on a branding level. And so you want to be thinking constantly about your media and how does that actual funnel work. If you are constantly navigating and telling people about your information and repetitively telling, go to my page, check out this stuff, or you might be interested in this, or you have a you have a need, I have a solution. Then all the better. You're telling people, you're giving them instruction, but if you're not able to actually give that value, and you can't do that because you're not posting, because you don't have a platform, or because you don't care, then the message is going to be the same, and it's going to say, I don't want to have a connection, or I don't want to have an interest, or I don't want to do business with this company or this person or this network, whatever it might be.
It's connections. It's all about connections.
Absolutely.
So if you're going to be having networking, you're going to go through all that trouble of spreading your word, because at the end of the day, any marketing that you do takes human effort, right? And if you're going to go out there and be networking and meeting people and whatnot, you're going to be making a human connection. And Nick said it best, is that now it's your second first impression when you're online, and now you're able to continue that connection. And you always have to, in today's world, keep that in mind, that it's about connecting. It's not about selling. It's about connecting.
If you focus on building the genuine connection, you won't have to worry about the sales, because the sale will be made.
Nick, I want to say thank you so much, man, for joining me today.
I appreciate it,
I
man.
think you really
Absolutely.
offered some serious knowledge that we've all heard all this stuff, but it's sometimes too much information. And if you're trying to really move into, if you don't already know these components, or maybe you need a refresher, it's always great to hear from experts that are in the trenches, that are doing the work, and that are seeing the results. So thank you so much for sharing it with everyone.
I appreciate you for having me, man. This was great. I always love to come out there and be able to share the information, because we learned that, but we learned that from someone else, and so it's not ours to keep. You have to be able to share it, and so it's been great. Absolutely.
So if people want to catch up with you, maybe even come out and be your next client, where should they look you up? How can they follow you and stay up?
So the best way to catch me, feel free to definitely come out to the gym regardless. Information about the facility, where it is, what we do here in more detail, and hours of operation, stuff like that is available at www.rmflex.com. So you can go on there. We're all on Facebook. We're on Instagram as well. And if you want to connect with me personally, you definitely want to become a subscriber to my newsletter. I would love to be able to respond. I think it's actually easier for me to respond to you directly if you have more questions, or definitely on Nat Fitness on Facebook, and then my Instagram is natfitness_33. So
perfect.
Out, connect.
And the website, natfitness.com.
And the website is obviously natfitness.com.
Okay,
absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So if you like this video, found value, please like it and share it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get more marketing advice that works. Until next time, I'm Los, your host, and I look forward to seeing you at the next episode of Around the Block Talk, marketing advice that works. Until then, have a great day.
Come on, breathe.
So what'd you think about the show?
The show was great, man. The show was great. I can tell you something. I think my viewers are gonna like it, really, because it emphasizes the connection network. You know what I'm saying? Like the network connection. Most people don't really think about pairing both. The main they put themselves in one category or the other.
Like Gary Vaynerchuk said, only 1% of the people will use this amazing knowledge that we'll be giving. So we'll see who's going to be the 1% to use the knowledge you're going to drop today, right?
Absolutely. Hey, we weren't done yet, man.
Oh.
Yeah, we still got more to do.
Okay.